Welcome to the patio. We thought we'd all be back together again, but nope. But after last week, Marty's partied with his truck again, if you're interested. He's still got truck woes and everything. Arkansas Razorbacks, they looked a little bit better, but they may have hit rock bottom. Booing a baby. Now, look, I guess if they was wearing UK blue, anybody might do that too. We got the Super Bowl, and the colors almost lined up this year, but not quite. We'll talk about what happened in the AFC NFC Championship game. We got a Super Bowl going on down at the southern border. Who's going to win that? Is it going to be Texas or Uncle Joe Biden? Speaking of Joe Biden, did y'all hear what all the crap he was mumbling the last couple of days?
I haven't heard
You
that.
haven't?
No.
Oh, I'll see if I can find it.
I stopped listening to them a long time ago.
But first and foremost, let's talk to DW. He's back in studio. Welcome back, DW.
Yo, what's up?
I can't hear you.
I'm glad to be back.
He's back.
I'm back.
He's back. Glad to be back. Marty Marr.
I'm glad to be back, too.
Did you walk over since your truck's back in the shop?
Did it get back in the shop? I missed it.
I dropped it off today.
Did you?
Never
Yeah.
make Marty mad.
Another
That's
3
what I'm
months?
talking about, the truck.
How long is it going to be there?
I don't know. It ain't got no code, so I guess they're going to
Oh, it had no code once you dropped it back by?
No, I didn't have a code the other day when I went by there.
Maybe it was just missing you. Maybe it's a way of saying, I miss you, Marty.
They plugged it in and said up, down.
Father Fortenberry, he's about to be back in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
He's
yeah.
had an injury.
Yeah, I've been lame all day.
I don't know where he was going. Candy shop?
Yeah, candy shop. What's up, people? Look, check out this new cool beer I got. We finna try it on air. What is it called?
Kilt
Optional Scotch Ale.
You know, I'm not typically a fan of the Scotch Ale, but
So, it's by our people, or I say our people, one of our favorite
oh,
beers.
it's by Duck Dog Mafia.
So it's one of our favorite breweries in Arkansas, Lost 40 Brewing.
Didn't we try Scotch Ale before?
I don't think we've had this.
I have.
What did we try, Marty? Did we try Scotch Ale before on air? It wasn't this one, or was it? No, I don't think. It
No,
was
I've
Good
never
Option.
tried that one.
What was the soy sauce beer? That was a
Oh, that was
That was a dark, stout.
Something midnight.
Imperial stout.
Imperial.
It was Imperial
That's
stout.
what I'm thinking. Scotch Imperial makes me think of the same. So let's talk about babies.
Well, I'm going to try this first because I want a beer.
Everybody loves babies, so we're gonna try first. That's a little out of.
I know, but I need a beer.
Hey, beers before babies.
So beers
That's how
before
it happens,
babies.
man. Beers before babies.
So we got the Kilt Optional Scotch Ale here.
So winter seasonal.
At least it doesn't smell like soy sauce.
That's great.
You like it?
I do. It's similar to...
Oh, I like that.
Okay, that's good.
So this is what the other one should have been.
I would say this reminds me of Killian's Red a little bit.
Yes,
A
it
lot,
does.
and
I
that's
knew it was something, but I couldn't...
that's it.
Pick
The
it out.
Killian's Red.
Yep, I like that.
It's like a Killian's Red, but with more flavor.
Yes.
A little more,
Got a little bite to it.
maybe a little more bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Mo bitters. That's 6.3% alcohol by volume.
All right.
Made in Arkansas for Arkansans. For you evil Arkansans that boo the baby in the blue.
It's a good winter beer.
So, the story is, game days at Fayetteville, and there's a little baby there, decked out in her big blue nation, and the Arkansas fans booed her.
Okay.
I love it. That baby knew what she was doing when she came dressed like that.
If I was the baby's parents, I wouldn't be upset. I would kind of take some
No,
pride in
look,
the fact that they booed
Be
her.
glad they fought that baby is what she did, what they need to be. Look, you bring your baby dressed like that, expect them to get booed. I'd have booed it.
I'd boo the baby.
Hell yeah, I'd boo the baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, if it was a Michigan baby at a Ohio State rally,
Gary would have thrown acorns at it or
they
Buckeyes,
would-
whatever they
yes,
got.
they would have chunked at that bar.
What are they?
Stole that
Buckeyes.
baby. Buckeyes, acorns, walnuts. They'd have tossed the walnuts at it.
Pecans.
Point being, don't travel your baby in a visitor's clothing. Just
Or travel your baby. Wear it proudly.
and wear it proudly.
You got to learn how to support from a young age. Look, I still got my stuff on after 3 losses.
Yeah, I mean,
3 losses.
Oh yeah,
we've got 5 losses in the SEC and somehow beat A&M. So
I'm talking about 3 in a row.
yeah, we had 4 out of 5, like 4 in a row. Did we lose 4 in a row? I think we might have.
I'll go, you better watch out.
And it wasn't. They weren't like close losses, Donnie. They were like 20-point losses.
I got
South
to get him out of his
Carolina,
candle
Ole
holder.
Miss.
Look, he's got. It was like
We're gonna have to get him another jersey.
Well, he's got a flat top head now.
He gonna go into NIL. Or not NIL. He gonna go into transfer
Portal.
We might need to trade him in. He brings back too bad. I mean, him and maybe he can go the way of Devo Davis. Devo has left the program. What do you think about that, Fortenberry?
I mean, he's been struggling, but he is a pillar of the team for the last 4 years.
But wasn't it because his boyfriend on the team or something?
They haven't said.
Well, I got to tell you, I've never been a fan of his.
That's what I heard.
I mean, they call him Mr. March in Fayetteville, so I mean, you don't get that nickname for no reason.
Yeah, but he needs to play December and January now.
Well, he's clutching the tournaments.
But wasn't it supposed to have something to do with him being homosexual and leaving because of a relationship?
I have no idea on that.
I have not heard anything.
I know he has painted fingernails.
That's what I heard. I mean, I don't care. Dude can play football.
No, if he can ball, but I needed to keep his balls in his pants and let's focus on his basketball game.
They were better without him.
I said football.
Yeah.
They were better without him, but the team's not good. The team's just not good. They don't mesh. I'm not sure Brazil's as good as we thought he was. That's probably why Missouri wasn't playing him when he was a freshman. He is not dominant under the goal at all. Even somehow Mekhi Mitchell doesn't even get rebounds anymore.
He can put it in the hole, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
That'll work. That'll work.
That'll work for
It
that.
took you a second.
So we got a baby getting booted at Arkansas. Arkansas getting the brakes beat him.
We played good against.
We did play good.
Probably best
Memphis is starting to fall apart. Look, if you're in the Mid-South, Ole Miss is doing good. If you're in the Mid-South, Ole Miss is doing good.
Anybody that comes in or anybody that Memphis plays, they shoot like 50% from the three-point line.
Arkansas didn't.
But it's because of their defense.
Well, we did not.
Well, we're running a different defense then.
Well, Tennessee's doing good too.
Yeah.
Tennessee's doing well. Ole Miss is doing well. You know, that's our local teams, I guess. What else we got going on today besides booing babies in the
Well, let's
great
just talk
state of
about
Arkansas?
the most important story of the day. Taylor Swift headed to the Super Bowl. Her and her bestie Brittany Mahomes will be plastered all over TV.
You know what? I ain't even angry about Taylor Swift anymore. Because like, I think she's kind of... I saw a video where Travis Kelce and his brother,
I got a
Jason,
theory.
were hugging each other, and she was standing behind them, and she could tell it was a special moment, and I promise it's like she stepped away not to be in the spotlight. Here's what I think. I think she is a girl that wanted this kind of football dream in high school.
Yeah, I do
all
too.
being achieved. So like, this is like, she has her little
She didn't
girl.
have a
She
high
is-
school.
I think maybe she's truly in love, and it's all this high school type.
I don't
so, too.
care.
I came
I'm
to the
tired of
same
seeing her.
conclusion.
She missed it when she was younger.
What I'm disappointed about
It
is
ain't
the
her
fact
fault.
that
It's the media.
Yeah, it is media. But I'm disappointed. I want to see Eminem versus Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. That's what I wanted.
That would be an awesome. Like,
That would have been, dude. There could have been a lot of stuff you used on that.
they could do a collab. They could have done a collab for that, and it'd be crazy.
Lamar Jackson didn't show up yesterday. He sure had an off day. He didn't run the ball. Brock Purdy ran the ball yesterday like a champ when they got behind. Lamar decided he was going to
So it's part of the MVP.
throw. I don't know. I think, based on yesterday's game, or based on the playoffs, Pat Mahomes may be.
I didn't watch the second half of that game. Lions and 49ers.
It was
But
all
I
Brock
heard
Purdy.
I heard the Lions coach kind of made some terrible decisions.
Well, no, he made
didn't
some
go for a
made
field
aggressive
goal.
plays.
He did.
He made some aggressive plays.
Brock Purdy put that game on his shoulders and said, I'm not going to lose it.
They lost by 3.
Yep.
Yep.
You kick a field goal sometimes, don't you?
Right,
They're not
his
anymore.
team didn't.
There's
didn't
a
hate
lot
it.
less teams doing that.
Hey,
They're going for it on fourth.
Gibbs is the real deal. That kid was running the football.
Montgomery,
at least in the first half.
Gibbs.
Montgomery's a real deal too.
So we didn't hit through sports a little bit, but I want to get into this border talk, man. There's a lot going on with that southern border. And
There he is. So Texas gave Joe Biden the big finger. The Abbott even told Biden if he nationalizes the National Guard, Texas National Guard, he will send troops or police forces to the border to continue to uphold Texas demands. He says Oklahoma has issued their support. Florida has as well. And then I think I read this earlier. I couldn't find the story, but 39 different attorney generals have challenged Joe Biden that he must uphold the Constitution and protect our southern border. Now they're expanding upon the fact that most of the people coming across that border are military-aged men, and if you've got your head in the sand, boys and girls, we are at war, whether you want to believe it or not, whether it's with the Houthi, whether it's with the Houthi, whatever you pronounce it. There was Americans killed. Where was that at? Where
Jordan.
Jordan?
Yep, I think I saw Jordan.
Where the drone came in and killed 3 Americans.
39 injured.
Iraq is taking, or Iran rather, is taking credit for it.
What was it? They hit a base?
Yeah. Apparently, they took this drone and followed American airships into the region, so people didn't realize that there was hostiles coming into the area.
That's smart.
It is smart. And how do we not do anything about that? How do we allow that to happen?
I need to clarify why I was laughing, I think, when you were talking about Americans dying, because I laughed, but you said Houthi. Well, I need to clarify that because I think it looked terrible on camera.
I don't think I noticed. Did you?
I didn't either, but we wouldn't. Yeah, okay.
I did, and I was like, that probably looked horrible.
Perception matters. I get you.
You said Houthi, and my mind went Houthi.
No, I said Houthi. Isn't that how they pronounce it?
I said Houthi.
Everywhere. That's where my mind went, like the song.
Houthi and the Blowfish.
I said hotties.
Hotties.
They got them hotties with them bad bodies.
The hoteps.
So
you got to do something. You got to have some balls here.
So Biden needs to have an immediate airstrike.
Do you think he will?
Trump would have. Trump would have busted that tail immediately. I promise.
Trump would have already. This was yesterday, right?
It's been the last couple of days at some point.
Yeah, Trump would have reacted. I mean, probably quicker than he should have.
It's kind of wild that we pretend we're not at war. We lost 2 SEALs raiding a ship.
Yeah.
And now we get 3 killed.
I think I saw this was like the 160th attack since October against
Yeah, we've got ships that can't get into port. When I was in South Africa, they were all parked in the Cape because it's a little safer.
Really?
And they couldn't get it through the passage at the Red Sea. They were stopped at the Cape.
Trump would have reacted. Now he might have bombed Michael Jordan, but he would have done something.
Biden might too.
You're right.
So, we're under attack from all 4 edges. If you do not think what's going on in the southern border is an attack, shame on you. Shame on you. Why do we? They're allowing 5,000 a day.
So there's been 6 million people have crossed over in Biden's 3 years.
There's less people in the state of Arkansas than have crossed over.
I saw
the state.
More people in Biden's term have crossed over than 39 U.S. states.
So
that's 2% of our entire population have crossed over in 3 years.
Of all the migrants that there were 302,000 that were accounted for across the border in December. That does not include the ones that came over, they said illegally, but they're all illegal. So it doesn't even count that.
What if, let's say it goes full on and Biden sends the troops to the Texas border? Are they really going to fight each other?
Yes, that's civil war.
No.
That's how it starts.
I just don't think they're going to. It could start. Because you'll have some people that are saying, well, it's my order, and then you're going to have some people that are like, screw you, guys.
There's a convoy headed that way now.
Okay,
the Freedom Convoy.
Let's look at...
You're going to have dudes show up, and they're like, look, guys, we're here.
Civil War is a bad example because it was armed aggression from the get-go. But the Revolutionary War, like the Boston Massacre, started over somebody misfiring.
Well, actually, if you go look in detail, though, the Civil War was really started...
It started Fort Sumter, but I mean...
But there were attacks earlier that you look back and they go, well, this is really when it started. And an armed confrontation would be interesting.
And if you go look at social media, the left is trying to frame this as the South trying to rise again, and that type of thing.
They're blaming it all on the GOP.
I think what's going to happen, they're going to force the hand. They're going to have to put the military at the border, and Texas will stand down the military guard the border. I think it's going to have to happen to not come to conflict.
As long as they maintain the same scenario that the Texas guard has, I don't think there'll be an issue. But I think if they do not secure the border, I don't think Texas will back down.
I don't either.
Or you know what we do? We start a war so you forget about that border.
I don't think people will. Even though there's the war and the news is going to flood you with information, that's not as close to home.
You know what
right
you do?
now,
You start a war and you deploy all of the people in Texas to go to the war and they got to leave.
well, then they'll back it up with the police, is what he's saying. The other issue is, though, this is no longer just a Texas, Arizona, New Mexico issue. By sending all these migrants to these blue cities and these blue states, it's at your doorstep. It's at all these people's doorstep. I'm surprised Memphis hasn't seen it. I mean, we got quite a migrant population anyway. But
Well, I don't think Memphis though is a sanctuary city.
it might.
I know there ain't nothing safe about it.
It might as well be.
Yeah, this is dangerous in some of the countries. that
Yeah, I
people
mean-
come from.
We're going to keep an eye on this border. So there's an interesting story I read today. Alzheimer's. Check this out. They now believe Alzheimer's can spread between humans. There's a protein that they've detected, and they believe it can spread between humans. The amyloid beta protein building up in the brain is Alzheimer's.
I think Marty gave me Alzheimer. Dude, I'm convinced that I'm gonna have it when I get older. And
Dude, you got CTE running all over you.
absolutely, I really do.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean,
Serious.
most people don't take that kind of impact.
Well, I've had more than that though. Explosions and all that. I've had my brain rocked a lot,
Yeah.
but I have trouble remembering things since
I mean,
my fall.
I've had 3 concussions that I remember, and you know it causes it. They say like as little as 2 concussions can cause
CTE.
permanent damage. Yeah,
I'm in trouble.
I only know of one I had. I can only recall one for certain. There's no doubt I had it, and it's, of course, associated with football. But I can't recall another one.
I had one in football, one in basketball, and my brother hit me with a mop stick.
And gave you concussion?
Oh, I was out.
Boy, well,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, he right across
knocked
the-
out.
I still have a knot in the center of my forehead where you.
Did he cruise by on the unicycle and smack your head while you were jumping on the pogo stick?
No, man, we was out there playing in the big ditch behind there. Remember the big old ditch behind our house? We was out there doing who knows what, and I walked it while he was swinging. He got caught a beat down.
Hello. How far does $100,000 salary stretch in your city? So there's a story I'm reading here, and it talks about how $100,000 is different in most places. But the first place they say they say Memphis has the best return on your money and claim if you make $100,000, you could save 40,000 of those dollars.
That depends on how you live. I mean, isn't that true?
I mean, yeah, I would say that's true with anything, but yes.
In New York, it says you would be left
yeah.
$6,000 in debt with the same $100,000 salary.
And you'd be living a lot differently.
Now, is that saying a family income or just 100,000 just in general?
100,000 in general. Number 2, El Paso, Texas. Memphis, number 1, least expensive city.
A single dude on $100,000, you can live pretty well.
Oh, that's banking.
Yeah, you can live pretty well.
As long as you ain't got to pay for cheer.
Well, I ain't single, but yeah, that cheers a kick of the balls now.
Especially when you got 2 of them, right, Jamie?
Yeah. Angel Baby
Volleyball ain't no better.
No.
We have Atlanta and St. Louis this month.
We've done Tupelo, and see the thing is we could have drove to Tupelo on the morning of.
You fly to Tupelo?
So the problem is
they parachuted in.
Angel Baby has to
10-minute
be
flight.
dressed and ready to go at 8:00 in the morning.
Unless you have to stay.
Yeah, so we have to stay at night.
Unless you get up at like 4 because it takes y'all forever to
And
get the kids ready.
So of course Angel Baby cheers on this team, and Graham is the coach. So Tommy and Megan are there too. So we have not been able to figure out how to not drink as much on the night before. Because used to we had the older girls, that's how we could sleep till 9, 10 o'clock because they had to be there till 2. So Sunday morning was rough.
You gonna learn?
Nah, probably not. Probably
Too late for that.
Yeah, I didn't drink anything yesterday. Charlie walked up and said told me there's a bar downstairs. I said it can stay there. I don't need it.
Jamie's the only person I know that we can make a calendar out of all the times we had pictures of him passed out somewhere. And it'd be different. We could probably make a calendar by the day. 365 times.
Well, you got my gears a turning. That'd be a good one.
That'd be a solid calendar.
And look, you could actually carry it out even further and just pose for those everywhere you guys go.
I wonder how they'd sell.
Dude, we have at least
the life from the patio. Yeah. But of course, Stephen Hawking. Imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than an auctioneer.
Oh yeah, dude started to speed up on his radio.
That's exactly. I was gonna say his computer.
Elon Musk now says the first human has had a brain implant from Neuralink's new telepathy product, allowing people to use technology
Hell no.
just by thinking.
Do you really want to know? Like, I don't want to know what other people are thinking because even people that like you think.
No.
No, that's not what he's saying. What it does is allow you to say, I could control that computer by thinking about it over there rather than having to use a mouse or the car.
Only fans would pop up every time I walk by a computer.
I'm driving the car and all of a sudden,
I would walk through the electronics section at Walmart. Just
It all start changing. It'd be different.
OnlyFans drops up.
So you'd be like the all great and powerful one that controls all electronics.
There'd be like 15 TVs, 14 of them be OnlyFans.
Yeah, one of
15
sports.
would be like Weird Al Yankovic. Something weird.
Yeah, so but who wants? I don't want anybody implanting anything in my brain anyway, much less something that a computer chip.
So Neuralink's intended to allow paralyzed people to control movement by thought. Now, see that there's some value in that.
I can stand behind it.
Yeah, but what happens when somebody starts hacking into it?
You get what's Professor X or whatever? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
From X-Men?
Yeah,
Maybe that's what he had.
he had something called Neuralink. That little helmet he wore. I might have get a true cartoon guy to tell me that, but I think it's called Neuralink or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Ask your brother.
Wes, let us know.
He'll tell us.
Vance explained it would take a couple hours for a surgeon to perform a craniotomy and a further 25 minutes for the chip to be inserted by a robot into the area of the brain which controls the hands, wrists, and forearms. Look, this is exciting.
Now hold up. Now you lost me at robots.
Yeah, so a robot.
So that's robots just creating their own people.
Well, but if you were to have a surgery that was like
kinda
extremely difficult and required a certain location in your brain, and you could pick either a surgeon or a robot, you'd pick a surgeon? I'm going robot.
Are those my other two options?
I'm not sure there is even the possibility of another
It's
option.
kind of funny because it is robots making robots.
It is robots making robots.
Hey, so speaking of robots, and when I was in South Africa, I kept hearing people say the robots are out. Be careful when you're driving home. I was like, I had this Terminator image in my head. I was like, man, what is going on? So over and over, the robots are out. The robots are out. They call traffic lights robots.
Oh, he's not out there today?
Yeah, so South Africa has a power problem.
Okay.
Oh, so they're literally not functional when the robots are out.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
That's the opposite of what
They stop
implied.
signs in the daytime.
No, there are no robots.
Right, but the power's out.
Yeah, the power.
They mean the grid's out.
light robots.
So one of the cleverest jokes I've ever heard was on remember the TV show Futurama?
So traffic lights are robots.
A gay robot was called a Romo.
Romo.
That's pretty awesome.
I bet Tony Romo loved that. Romo.
But so the like a homeless one that rode a train was a Robo.
So let's talk about the playoffs. Let's get back to sports for a minute because you brought up Tony Romo. Who was the worst quarterback in the playoffs?
This year?
Yeah. Who was the worst? You had Tua.
Lamar?
Tua had a bad outing.
No, you talking about the worst? Who had the worst performance?
worst performance? Who was the worst performance? But Tua had a bad one, but let's chalk that up to the weather. That was terrible conditions.
It wasn't.
Lamar's yesterday was not good.
Mayfield did good.
It wasn't Baker.
Baker
I
did
was,
great.
I was just about to bring
Jalen
Baker
Hurt
up.
didn't do so hot.
I tell you, man.
Hurts might have been the worst performance of the playoffs.
He may have,
And that don't mean he's the worst. It means he's had the worst performance.
but he had he had a bad stretch of games.
He had a bad few games.
Now, I don't know. Dak had a terrible. We forget about that already.
What Dak? Like
Against Green Bay,
It felt like a month
Dak.
ago.
It's Dak.
it does feel like a month ago.
I had Cowboy fans like that I know that were like, they're gonna let us down. They knew. They knew before it started.
Now they just say that they really think every year is them boys' year.
We them boys.
We them
We
boys.
You ain't been them boys in 30 years.
They need to figure out how to beat them men.
So,
They can't do nothing as them boys.
They were good at one point during the season. So were the Eagles.
so you got back on sports. So let's talk about the fact that Belichick ain't finding a job.
Because he wants $28 million a year.
I don't think anybody wants a 72-year-old coach either.
Well, that's just it. They don't want to pay what he's asking for. If he would come in making $5 million and going to take a protege for 2 years, they could coach just about anywhere.
You know what? Sometimes you just need to go sit down.
And I also wonder too, is it becoming glaringly obvious that they were successful because of Tom Brady, not because of him?
I think they were successful because
That's hard to say.
I think they were successful because of the scheme he wants to run. Tom Brady was capable of doing it.
Well, but he's a defensive coach.
So if he was such a
He
good
had
coach,
good defenses.
if he was he did have good defenses, but if he was such a good coach, why did he struggle at Cleveland?
Well, you could say the same thing about
you could say the
Saban in his earlier coaching days.
When was he not good?
You judge his goodness by when he was coaching with Belichick, but
They were successful when he was at Cleveland.
yeah, but they didn't win any. They didn't win a championship or anything. I mean, you judge Saban by the championships he won. He won the one.
So every team he's been on except Cleveland and
Michigan State.
He
was at
wasn't
Michigan State.
successful.
no, but he was highly successful at Michigan State.
But he wasn't successful in the NFL at all, was he?
Well,
He
he spent a year at Miami.
He realized that wasn't his cup of tea.
Because you can't control the players like you can in college.
No, yeah. You just can't. No, yeah.
No, yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean, so the point being, I don't know if Belichick is necessarily that good of a coach. I mean, he's won.
So what happens to Alabama now?
Oh, I think they're fixing to lose a lot.
They'll lose some players, but this coach they got, I think he's a good hire. That dude has a track record.
I think they dropped status, but
He will lose
I
the
don't
first
think they
coin
fall
toss and they'll
out.
fire him. They'll be like, that's not acceptable at Alabama. Now, he's a damn good coach. I think the guy's a great coach.
You look at his track record.
No, he's a great coach.
I had no idea. This dude wins everywhere he goes.
What if, just for instance, what do you think would have happened if Alabama got prime? Just for
I thought it'd be a good idea.
They would have won, no doubt.
gosh,
But the fan base would have.
think about how they could have recruited.
The fan base would have lost their mind.
Prime still could end up there.
But you could have had anybody. Because you got prime
Man.
plus Alabama, you could have had literally anybody.
I'm not sure he's coaching after his kids quit playing.
He's not coaching for money. It has nothing.
No.
His damn
He has
kids
plenty
bought
of
him a damn mansion. Did y'all see that? His sons bought him an expensive $6 million home in Denver.
But, if you're an elite quarterback, why on earth would you want to go to Colorado? Zero desire to go to Colorado if you're an elite quarterback.
I mean, there are plenty of other places you can go.
Well, yeah.
It's all about the money
But
now,
you're not
anyway.
going to play at Colorado. His son is going to play.
For now, I mean, he's got a year left.
I think he'll leave after that, though. Like T said.
Well, I think he'll leave this next year because he's a senior.
No, he's talking about prime.
No,
leaving.
prime.
Oh, yeah, I think he'll leave too, yeah.
Either that or he's going to really staff up. He's going to bring in some real talent to backfill. We'll see. I'm interested in it.
There's some appeal. If I was a young dude and what Prime has going, if I knew I was good and I was going to play, I'd probably go play there. That ain't a bad place to live.
At this day and age, it doesn't matter where you play. You can always transfer.
Yeah, that's going to have to stop.
That's what's
It's
affecting
going to
basketball.
have to be railed in some kind of way.
We're gonna have
It's the Wild Wild West.
We're gonna have the craziest March Madness. Watch.
Oh, there's small teams that are going to dominate.
A small team's gonna win it this year. Watch.
You don't think the Blue Bloods come around, Kansas, North Carolina, all of a sudden start playing better in another couple of weeks? That's how
Some
they
of them will,
normally
some of them
do.
won't. But it's hard to imagine. But let's look at football. I know people don't like we get on sports so much, but let's talk about this for a second. So, just 15 years ago, you could only pick up about 3 games televised. Now every game's televised.
Yep.
So you add that into transfer portals, paying players. School, we'll use Memphis as an example. Every game Memphis has is on national television. They can pay players to come there, and kids can go to wherever they want for 1 year and transfer in and out.
What's crazy though is Memphis went from not having any games really. You catch ESPN Plus, but you have to have a subscription to watch it. To having almost all of
That's how they all work. So at one time, and they're older than me, so they'll remember better. But you catch the Jefferson Pilot game, which you had to be lucky enough to get on the Jefferson Pilot, or your team had to be good enough to be on one of the main ESPN games.
Yep. Or CBS.
Then it went into they picked up 3 additional games, which gave you 5 games, and then you could do 2 or 3 pay-per-views a year. Then it got into where there was 3 pay-per-views, the rest were televised. I mean, now every game is. I mean, if you have SEC Network.
Yeah, if you have ESPN Plus or SEC Network, you can catch all SEC football games, basketball games.
Even at the beginning of this year, before Memphis was ranked, you had to watch all their games on ESPN Plus.
Well, basketball's a little different because there's so many games.
I think that schedule fluctuates based off where you sit.
No, absolutely.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah.
Father Fortenberry, I understand that you got a banged up hand.
I do. I hurt my little. I feel like my piggy, but that's my hand. I'm not sure what I did to it. I heard it at work moving around some heavy pipe. And
You was laying pipe?
I was laying pipe. I was trying to pick up some pipe.
this joker was writing something.
And
we were doing some paperwork. Is what happened. I heard it with a
look, the bad part is I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So it happened Friday. My hand started hurting late Friday. I thought it was arthritis. So I laid around all weekend with this thing, thinking, man, my arthritis is killing me. And I got up last night about 2 o'clock, and my hand was throbbing.
You know you're
Boy,
old.
it does sound like gout, doesn't it, Marty? Because
Man,
my
it
ankle
does.
did that exact same thing last night.
You know you're old when you start calling it arthritis.
Gout is an arthritis.
You get a little warming sensation. If you go to sleep, the next morning you ain't gonna be able to move it. If it's gout,
It happened to me last night. My ankle is a little better now.
terrible.
So I went to the doctor today, and I got to the job site. I had a meeting at 8, had to go to the meeting, had to get everybody lined up, had a bunch of new guys. So I made it to the doctor about 9:30. The office told me to go to the ER. I was like, all right, whatever. So I go sit in the ER about an hour 15 minutes. They call me in there, do triage, and the lady says, oh, you should be across the street at the urgent care. Just tell them we sent you, they'll get you right in. So, awesome.
I called this dude at 1:30.
He was still waiting to get in.
I sit there for another hour in the other urgent care. Then they called me up there. They said, oh, your workers' comp stuff isn't working out right. We got to get this sorted out. So it took me, I was about 4.5 hours total.
That sounds about right for New York.
So a whole
That wasn't, it was urgent care. I spent 3.5 in urgent care.
what city was you in?
Pine Bluff.
Oh, if you was in Memphis, you'd still be there.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Maybe if you didn't get burgers.
I almost walked out and said, no, I'm done. The problem
my
is,
fingers are all right.
It feels better now.
well, the
feels
problem
better
is
That's what they want.
the ladies I'd like to come see over here don't have an X-ray machine.
But they could have sent you to get one, and I guarantee you would have had it in an hour.
Oh, it'd been a whole lot
Oh,
quicker.
yeah, no doubt.
Fallon could have sent you to the little one in West Memphis. You'd have had X-ray in an
Yeah,
hour.
shout out to Fallon. She takes care of us.
All right, boys. I think that's it for me. Y'all got anything else?
No, there hasn't been a whole lot going on, lately.
Now, we're going to be keeping an eye on the border, keeping an eye on the hotties at the hot eyes. But look, boys, it's election year.
Yes, it is election year.
It is election year. Marty, hit the play us out button. Marty's got to control some buttons these days. There we go. That's the wrong one, Marty.
Sorry, hit the other one.
That's
He's
our
still
play.
fighting. He's still
There we
trying.
go. There we go. There we go. DW, parting word.
Nope.
Oh,
Save me, save
DW.
me
I'm glad to be back after it was good to me, but I'm glad to be back in Arkansas.
change me.
Marty, how was Africa treated you?
Oh, treat me good. Make gas prices $2 again.
There you go.
Amen.
Father Fortenberry.
Everything's a smoke machine if you use it wrong enough.
And lead me,
Look, go like us, love us. We got a little bourbon stuff we're putting out again, trying to get back on that trail. But thanks for stopping by, and we'll see y'all again later this week. Life from Patio, we out of here.
And I ain't gonna fall. Somebody done saved this
Outlaw.